At this point, let me go back to Abuja, where Anyeka Nya-Etok, social commentator, and Mr. Oluwole Osaze Uzi have since been joined by the Deputy National Chairman of the Intra-Party Advisory Council, that's Mr. Jeff Ojinika. Mr. Ojinika, thank you so much for being with us. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you. And
let me take this opportunity to thank Mr. Osaze Uzi for being with us. It's been, we took you out of the office. I want to thank you very much for that time. And we have to let you go at this point, I understand, so that you can return to the office and that meeting that you left. Thank you very much for being with us. Mr. Osaze Uzi is, of course, the Director of Voter Education at INEC. All right, then. So back to our discussion at this point in time. Mr. Ojinika, you're the one who's just joined the discussion. What do you make of this lifting of the ban on campaigns by INEC, which INEC did this night from Abuja? What do you make of it?
Yeah, we'd like to commend the Chairman and the members of the Independent National Electoral Commission for being responsive to the yearnings of the political parties and for doing the right thing. And not just that, I wish to confirm that before coming up to that decision, the Commission met with the leadership of the political parties in Nigeria under the leadership of High Chief Pt.6, the Inter-Party Advisory Council. We met with the Commission today, and the aftermath of that meeting was that press release that the Commission issued. And we wish to state that we were very much in support that the campaign continue in line with the Electoral Act. And then also that will also help to increase the participation of our people so that the political parties whose primary responsibility it is for voters' education will go back again, try to ginger their supporters to see that they will have a better turnout in the forthcoming election on Saturday. So I think the Commission has done so well, and we in the Inter-Party Advisory Council in support of the Commission, and we stand with the Commission. And all Nigerians, they need the prayers and support of all Nigerians to see them to succeed in this onerous task.
Do you think the lifting of the ban, especially since campaigns were supposed to have ended on Thursday, as they did end, and now they're being extended by, say, another 5 days or 4 days, do you think it doesn't confer an advantage on some of the parties over others? Being that in the IPAC you represent all of them.
Well, I don't think it's going to confer any. I don't think it's going to confer any advantage on any political party. Everybody will start same time, and at the same time, the campaign will stop 12 midnight on Thursday. And everybody will also start the campaign tomorrow, or even this night, any moment from now, since the ban has been lifted. All the TV stations, all the broadcast stations are now allowed to start airing jingles of political parties. So I don't think it's going to confer any advantage to any political party. Rather, the essence is just it will help to see that the voter turnout will be very high, and then also to increase the morale of our citizens. And most importantly, there were also some shortcomings in the last campaign. There were situations where some political parties like the PDP was not allowed to campaign in the Federal Capital Territory. I think they will take advantage of this now to be allowed to campaign, especially at the Ego Square. They said then that it was conflicting with that of the ruling party. And then other parties will also have opportunity to campaign in areas. And then at the other time, it was said that about something people are that something percent of the people undecided. They will also help to woo those are people that are undecided. So I think these 3 days will be intensive political campaign. But I think more or less now it will be more on media and techniques, not more of rallies again, because the election has gone into a very technical stage now.
All right, Mr. Anyekan Etok.
Sorry, just before we go back to Mr. Anyekan, I understand that we have our correspondent from Imo, Tokwe, on the line. Tokwe, can you hear us? And if you can, so tell us what's going on where you are now.
Yeah, very well. I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic.
Can you hear me?
Of course I can. Go on, please.
Okay. Yeah, Imo Indians, especially the ones residing in Owerri, the capital city here, have resumed their normal business activities. And those who travel to their communities and villages for purpose of voting are back after the postponement of the elections on Saturday. Even though the majority of them are disappointed in INEC, just like other Nigerians. But from the opinions, conversations, and mindsets of people around here, they're still very much ready and determined to come out and exercise their franchise as they're looking forward to cast their votes for candidates of their choice on Saturday, the 23rd.
Are they concerned about security issues at all? It's something that has come up as well. Now that there's an extra week, do they feel any more secure? Or do they think that INEC should do more to ensure that security is sorted out at the polls?
Yeah, okay. For example, shortly before few days before the rescheduled election, the Imo State Police Command said it deployed about 10,000 policemen to monitor the elections across the state, under the supervision of a DIG in charge of Imo, Michael OPC, and the Commissioner of Police. The command this morning, while speaking to me, the Public Relations Officer says they are strategizing ahead of Saturday's election, but that the rules are still very clear. They will not condone any act of thuggery or breach of electoral guidelines by anybody, no matter the status. And on the part of the people, they are also still calling on security operatives in the state to live up to expectations, to remain neutral, and to ensure that they secure the life and property of people during these forthcoming elections.
And how enthusiastic would you say they are coming out all over again, having maybe some of them have traveled or having come back to the state? Do you see them asking for the extension of PVC collection, or are they just fine with the extension of campaigns? Do you see any of them upset about the fact that...
I think, yeah, those people I've spoken to, majorly what they are talking about is, one, they're disappointed. They're not even talking about the PVC collection again, They're just disappointed about the postponement of the elections. Most of them, this is the Southeast, and this is Imo State, the Eastern Atlanta. Igbos, they like their business. They want to be out there doing their business. So most of them had to leave their comfort zones. They went to their communities, villages, and only for them to hear that the elections have been postponed. So now they are back to their normal duties. I've spoken to some of them. They are still eager to go back because one passion I see in people is they are willing to participate in the election. They are willing to elect a leader, a visionary leader, come this 2019 Saturday elections. They are willing to come out and still vote, even though most of them, most of them have to go back to their villages. We have 7 local governments in Imo State, so it's not very far. Most of the locals are not very far, so they can still afford to go back to their communities and vote this coming Saturday.
All right, thank you very much, Tokwe, for joining us. Tokwe Kutei, correspondent in Owerri, the Imo State capital, reporting there. Thank you very much, Tokwe. Now, Anyekan Etok, I was about to ask a question, and I made reference to what we had talked about, the issue of this PVC collection by proxy. INEC says it will not allow by proxy. There have been people who have said, why not? Especially if, as Mr. Showme says, these are respected leaders, and then INEC is, of course, also present. to supervise this distribution in those communities. What do you make of this?
Thank you very much for a great question. I personally am not persuaded that we should be going down that route at this time. So I think it's a great idea, but I think that it's putting the cart before the horse. There are quite a number of things that need to be done long before we're able to go through that process of using, either the traditional rulers or generally distributing, these sensitive sort of materials by proxy. The reason I say this is because there is still quite a bit of influence that can be exerted on figures such as traditional rulers or any other person that could circumvent the entire process of integrity and transparency in getting the PVC to other people. I think that what has to happen is that we need to be able to engage a high level of monitoring and evaluation and some sort of assessment. It is clear that INEC does not yet have its wits about it in terms of proper self-assessment to be able to look at where they are per situation. So I would suggest that we look at the possibility of some independent sort of assessment of all the activities, including the distribution of PVC, so that we do not have these discussions about whether it was at the ward level or at the local government level. But one critical thing I think we shouldn't overlook is the Nigerian people. It is clear that they are determined to have their say. It is clear that they're determined to register, their opinions about leaders and leadership, and they want to be included in that process. So whether it's about collecting PVCs or it's about which political affiliations that they have, the Nigerian people want to be part of it. The corporates want to be part of it. And at this point, I want to very, very quickly say we salute your service to every single corporate who has put themselves on the line to serve their country in this critical process. But what we know is that the Nigerian people want to be part of this process. And I think that should be the focal point in terms of how we then view what the INEC has done, what the political parties are doing. The focal point has to be the Nigerian people, and I don't think we should lose that fact.